Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Ramani, and welcome back to this YouTube channel that takes on all kinds of issues related to narcissism, narcissistic relationships, toxic people, toxic situations, you name it. It's my hope that the information on this channel will help you deal better with these situations in your life. I'm always going to give you that reminder on the healing program. If you want more information on that, just please click the link in the video notes. And if you are new to this channel, please join us, subscribe to this channel, and also to hit the notifications, because then you'll get notifications every day when new content comes out, keeping you narcissism resistant. We have had a series going on how do you be a supporter to someone going through narcissistic abuse. For some of you who have already gone through it or going through it, you may also have other people in your life who are going through it and you want to be a supporter to them. Some of you may not be going through it at all, but you notice someone dear to you is going through narcissistic abuse. And a lot of people have reached out to me and said, how can I support someone going through this? I don't even quite get it myself. That's what this series is about. So we're going to talk today, though, about how to be a supporter in a very specific situation. So when you're supporting someone going through narcissistic abuse, it's confusing, it's frustrating, it's also heartbreaking. But we're going to talk about a specific situation today. What if the person that you are supporting or trying to support through narcissistic abuse is actually in denial about their situation? Now, being a supporter to someone going through narcissistic abuse can feel like a slow burn. You always want to fix what's happening to them. And we've already covered that. You don't try to fix it because it's not going to work. And if anything, all you want, you just wish they could see it. And it can be really, really hard if you see it and they don't. So let's think of it. Let's think of a scenario. Let me present a scenario to you. You have a friend who is in a narcissistically abusive relationship. You'll be out to dinner with a friend and their partner, and they're being gaslighted right in front of you. You'll witness them being invalidated. And then at some point in the meal, you go to the restroom. And on the way back from the restroom, you have this sort of awful experience of watching your friend's narcissistic partner doing what appeared to be like getting someone's number at the bar. You may want to tell your friend. You may want to even just at least tell them elements of what you saw. And so you do. And your friend doesn't want to hear it, or they make excuses or justify it, or even tell you that you're making something up or making a big deal about it because of your own stuff, maybe your own history with narcissistic abuse. So how are you supposed to support someone who's going through narcissistic abuse, but they're really, really living in denial? Now, this is a tough one, and yet it's a situation that comes up. And there's certainly a range of responses here. Some people may find that they just can't do it. They'll say it is way too hard to sit here and witness this happening and watch them being treated so badly. So you fold, you're like, I'm out. You may no longer be willing to spend time with them, maybe, for example, as a couple. Or maybe you'll only say, I'll spend time with you alone, but not when that other person's around. And it may be hard, even that, spending time with them alone may be hard because they're in so much denial about their relationship. Some people will just go in like gangbusters and say, I don't like your partner. You're in a relationship with a narcissist. I absolutely think you are too good for this person. I can't let this happen to you. You deserve better. Here's my cell phone. Break up with them now. So there are obviously a whole range of ways people express themselves when your friend's in denial. And this may apply how to support someone when they're in denial, even if it's not an intimate relationship. It may be that you witness a friend being narcissistically abused by a parent, by their adult child, by a boss or a coworker, or by another friend. And your friend or your loved one is in denial. They'll say things like, oh, come on now, they aren't that bad, or don't talk like that about my child, or they're just who they are. They aren't mistreating me, and on, when it's so clear that the person is being really, really mistreated by this other person. Now, some people will try to gently turn the friend's head subtly. Instead of calling it out or distancing from the narcissistically abused friend, they may do subtle stuff like asking, hey, are you okay? Or I just saw what happened. Is everything all right? Now, a person in denial may still deny that anything is wrong. Now, this approach, though, what I'm suggesting here may be the best one, just to try to be subtle. Another approach may be to say, hey, just checking in on you. I'm a little worried about you, about what I've been seeing. Doesn't feel right, but I wanted to make sure you're okay. It's denial, folks. Your friend or loved one may still give you denial type responses. Hey, yeah, everything's fine. We're good. You just saw us on a bad day. But when someone is in denial about narcissistic abuse, you aren't going to change them in one day. When you subtly try to point it out, you're planting a seed. You don't really know what is going on in their head. They have their own obvious cognitive dissonance they're struggling with. They have their own trauma bonds, their own fears, and they may not be ready to be frank and share about it. So denial is a safe harbor, a defense. But perhaps by just checking in, you are actually validating something that they're not yet honest about, even with themselves. Now, some folks may say, listen, I can't do it. I can't be with someone in denial. I have been through narcissistic abuse myself, and I cannot just sit there and watch it. It is too triggering. It is too upsetting. People will be thinking to themselves, listen, I have come too far now to have to sit in the audience and watch someone I care about have to deal with narcissistic abuse. And listen, folks, I get it. And honestly, I can also get behind that. I get it. If you're in the midst of managing your own healing, your own survivorship, you need to do you first. It can be anguishing to watch someone you care about going through the cycle of narcissistic abuse over and over again, whether you have been through it or not. Now, ironically, while I spend many, many hours every single week talking with people about narcissistic abuse clinically and personally, when it's people I'm close to, I find it almost intolerable to be in the presence of it, especially when a person is in denial. Now, I tend to take another tack with folks. I don't even talk to, especially people I care about, I don't talk to them about their narcissistic relationship. Instead, I choose to focus on that friend or that loved one's gifts. Talk to them about their resilience, notice special things about them, asking them about the things they're doing. I know they're not hearing any of that from their partner or their family. So I also know I'm not going to break through their denial. But I guess my secret wish is that by having someone hear that they are quite extraordinary, that I'm contributing to a place inside of them that is slowly getting stronger. And maybe someday down the road, they may see it. Maybe they won't, but there is never any harm in telling someone that they are good and cherished and have special and unique gifts, instead of trying to do the impossible task of cracking their denial before they're willing to give in. And just said, it's better off to simply work on them getting stronger. It's so painful when someone is in denial and continuing to endure narcissistic abuse right in front of you, especially if you are starting to see it take a toll on them. They speak badly about themselves, or they gaslight themselves, or they just become more isolated. None of us are likely to be the wake-up call for someone else, not you, not even me as a therapist. I have worked with clients where it was so clear that narcissistic abuse was happening. There was everything short of sort of a neon sign saying narcissistically abused and an arrow, but the clients just simply, they didn't want to hear about it. And they would often drop out of therapy when they recognized that this person wasn't going to change. And in a sense, they could see that I saw it. They didn't want to do it anymore. The most frustrating part of being a supporter, especially when you're a survivor yourself, is to watch someone go through what you went through or some version of it. And then if that person is in denial, it can sometimes take you back and fill you with feelings of helplessness, powerlessness, hopelessness. And if you're a survivor, think back to that time. There was a time when you weren't ready to hear it, but kind words from a friend or someone who cared about you still held a lot of weight and would feel very, very precious. If you need to step away from someone in denial who's going through narcissistic abuse, I get it. If you can try to not change it, but just be present with it, you may just strengthen the person without having to point out the problems in the relationship. But denial, in fact, is a part of the narcissistic abuse experience. Some people just get caught in that space of denial a lot longer than others. So I hope that helps you be a better supporter. Thanks again.